You see that line there? Now that's the original drawing line here. Because we've got two light areas together, now I'm going to lose that line. Now the way I'm going to do that is I've either got to make one or the other darker. Now I've decided to make this petal darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the line itself and draw on the line. Okay, that's no good go. No, of course it's not, because what we do then is we bring it back from there. It's like magic, folks. First you see it, and then you don't. Now, where's the line? Gone. Now while we're there, I'm also going to show you how we can just develop these areas. I want this to be a little darker, but I want it to be darker with the ochre. I'm going to be pushing a little bit more of that colour in there, and a little bit on that too, on the top of there. Now you could say to me, have you gone a little bit heavy there, Carl? I have, yes, but that will all disappear as I get on, because I'm going to bring the lighter colours and the other colours back into it when I get up the other way. And the other, before I go on to that, I've just introduced, you can see I've introduced another colour down here. I'm going to introduce it back here now because I want to darken that area just there, make it a little stronger. There's a bit of shadow. Might as well bring it in there. In fact, I think what we'll do is we'll work all the way along there with that. And a little bit of ochre as well. It always looks, when you look at it, think, God, he's gone too mad, he's gone silly. But actually, it does work. Now just on here we've got the same idea. A little darker on the top. Like that. Now when we come around the other way, we go, oh my goodness me, what am I going to do about that? Well, there's things we can do. Because I'm going to put a background on it so we can afford to have the whoops, so you can see it, I'm going to lose it. We can afford to have this at the top quite bright. So I'm going in with another white pencil, and I'm making it just that little bit brighter. And it works so well, I'm going to do the same thing with this. And then fade it back. So we get, you're almost using it like a sculpturing tool. Good, so far so good. Now on there, same, a little bit of white on there, and bring it back. I'll leave that at the moment, and just there, I'm not going to, in fact I think what I'll do here, I'll use the ivory pencil there to make that a little more acceptable. See, it works there, so it's going to work everywhere else I use it now. So it's worked in there too. Okay, we still need a bit more strength on that, but now I left this because I wanted to show you this area. Now we're going to come down, I'm going to turn it around because it's easier for me to see. I'm going to come down here with a fairly bold line. Now you saw me do this earlier on when I was using the lighter pinks. It comes down here and down there. Now this is like a shadow, so we now, as we put the line in, we now bring it either side of it. Yes, like that. So we've got the line, hard line going down the middle, and either side of it. Like that. And that's looking good, isn't it? And I think I might just stretch this a little bit over. A little bit now. Very light touch, that's almost just letting the pencil rest on the paper and doing that with no pressure at all. But what I want to do eventually is to make that curl out, and it will work eventually. Now that's worked so, oops, ooh, look, I'm glad I did that. It gives you an opportunity to show off my double-sided, yeah, my soft eraser. Yes, get rid of that. Okay, where was I? Now, here we want to bring this I already started this earlier on with a little bit of weight there, so I'm going to use a little bit more there, just there, and then it fades a bit there and comes in to its own about there. And it's the same with this one, like that. You always have to be slightly over the top when you're doing it, because if you don't make it strong enough, it becomes too wishy-washy. And a little bit more strength in the back of there as well. I don't use this colour very often. It's a 127, and the reason I don't use it is because it's a bit fierce. But of course for flowers, that's exactly the sort of thing you're looking for. I think I'm quite happy with that at the moment. I leave it like that. Now, it is too fierce, so we've got to bring it back. Now, how we do that, we find another colour. I'm going to try the pink first of all, and we use the pink to soften the edges. And you could ask me why I'm not using a colour shaper or a paper blender. Well, because it works better when you're using a pencil to do it with, because you're putting more colour on. It looks good. Very good. And what we can do now, we've softened that down, is use the ivory first of all, a little bit of ivory in there. Fascinating, isn't it? We're still waiting for some really dark colours in there too, that I'm going to be putting on. And then finally, on this section, we then put the white on again. Now the white comes back in, and that will then give us the extra little bit of brightness on that edge. And then once again, it's all graduation, grading into. Now that should look super now there. And just on here, we want the white just there because we want it to be at its strongest. But then that's it. And then a little bit of white through here, and a dollop of it through there. Now you should now be able to see the rose taking shape, and we want at the point of, there's a point of light there, white, and we want that faded out. So the white is actually giving us the point of light, and also using it to graduate the other colours. Good. Now over here, a little bit of light just there. And then we want it more even up there. We don't want to have a striped rose here. And a little bit more over there. Good, now just a touch with the finger, and how's that looking? Beautiful.